everyone, and welcome back to another video. I thought it'd be fun to give you some romance book recommendations, as very soon it is going to be Valentine's Day. I thought I'd keep it short and sweet, 8 books, because I was hoping to film this earlier, but as I'm filming this, Valentine's Day is like 5 days away. So let's just get right into it. First off, we have The Right Move by Liz Tomfordy. Oh my goodness, I love this book so much. I am obsessed with this book. It is about Indy, and she is a flight attendant, and she is left homeless. She ends up finding out that her boyfriend was cheating on her. So then her best friend Stevie, who we actually meet in the first book in the series, Mile High, ends up going to her twin brother Ryan Shay and is like, can Indy stay with you for a bit? She's like really desperate, and Ryan is one for like being very organized, likes being by himself, so he's like not really happy with the idea, but he'll do anything for his sister, so he's like sure. So it's kind of like forced proximity type thing. End up becoming roommates, and then there's also like a fake dating element that comes into it. Very good. Next one I'm going to recommend is Juniper Hill. Now I just want to clarify, The Right Move and Juniper Hill is in a series. They're like the second book in a series, but you can read them as standalone. I would recommend the whole series of what I'm recommending, but I'm choosing specific books that I absolutely loved personally. So Juniper Hill, this is like a small town forced proximity type thing. This follows Memphis, who is escaping a traumatic past with her newborn son, and she decides to start over in Quincy, Montana, and then she ends up moving into a loft who's actually owned by Knox, who is a chef, and Knox ends up actually helping her a lot with like her move, even her newborn baby, just anything that she needed help with, he helps. Well, that's about, and honestly it is so good. I would highly recommend. It's not like single dad, obviously it's single mom, but if you like that type of style, highly recommend. If you love he steps up for a child that's not even his and sees them as their own, then again, highly recommend this one. Then we have Birthday Girl. Now I have recommended this one quite a few times on my channel, but I haven't talked about it in a while, so I thought I would add it into this one. This follows a 19-year-old Jordan, and she ends up moving in with her boyfriend and her boyfriend's father, Pike. Just to clarify, he is 38, so this is like an age gap type thing, and then they are kind of like forced into like a forced proximity type thing without spoiling too much, which then leads to like romantic feelings, but it is more of like a slow burn, which I really enjoy about this one, because I feel like you can get like a connection and learn more about the characters like themselves. Then we have Collide. Now this one I don't really recommend on my channel. I don't think I've ever like fully talked about this one before, except for maybe in a reading vlog. I'm not too sure, I can't remember. This one follows an enemies to lovers sports romance, and if you kind of like in like college, so if you're into something like that, then this one would be for you. But this follows Summer, who is determined to become a sports psychologist. It also follows Aiden, who is the captain of the hockey team. So she is someone that hates hockey, but then she is forced to do something for like the college hockey team. She's not happy about it, but obviously she has to do it, so she ends up doing it. That's where she meets Aiden, who is, like I said, the captain of the hockey team, and straight away they butt heads. They don't like each other, and that's where like the enemies to lovers thing comes from, but then obviously feelings start to happen. Then we have Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This one, again, I have talked about, but I feel like I don't talk about it enough with how much I love it. This book is so good. So it follows Brianna, and her life is falling apart. She is going through a divorce, she has a sick brother, and she has also lost a promotion to Jacob, so they're both like doctors. But what I love about this book in general is it really focuses on anxiety, but especially in men, and I feel like that isn't talked enough in general, and especially in books. And so I loved how it was portrayed. Anxiety in general, I just loved how it was portrayed. Felt like it was done really well, and I feel like that is why I love this book so much, because I could like relate to it. But when they first meet, Brianna obviously sees him as like not a bad guy, but as someone who has took her promotion. But then he ends up giving her like a friendly letter, and that's when Brianna's like, oh, actually he's not the guy that I thought he was, and that's kind of like where the friendship part starts to occur. Then we have All Roads Lead Here. Now this is one that I used to talk about a lot, and kind of like stopped because I felt like I was talking about it too much, but I haven't talked about it in a while, so here we are talking about it again. But this follows Aurora, and she ends up returning to her childhood home in Colorado looking for a fresh start, when she ends up going through a breakup with her long-term boyfriend. So then Aurora is obviously looking for a new place to stay. She sees this ad for a garage apartment online, and so she goes to look at it, only to discover the actual owner, Tobias, had no idea about it, and that the listing was actually done by his son. So this is like a grumpy sunshine dynamic. There's also like a found family thing, healing, and a slow burn, which is classic Marissa Potter. Then we have Tri-Six Venom by Penelope Douglas, and this is actually an FF romance, and this was probably one of the first FF romances I read like years ago. Honestly, this was so good. I read it in like one sitting, and it's like 500 something pages. I was addicted. So this follows Clay, who's like the popular girl in school. She's always getting like the top grades. She's like in the popular friend group. She's always in like perfect clothes, all that stuff. And then it also follows Liv, who is known as like obviously the less popular, the one who is on the wrong side of the tracks. And Liv is openly gay, whereas Clay only discovers it throughout the book. Now this is a bully romance, so make sure that obviously that is something that you enjoy, because I would say the bullying in this is quite harsh, if I must say so myself. It all comes to a good end, if you know what I mean. I would highly recommend it, like I said, especially if bully romance is for you, FF romance is for you. And then finally, I probably don't need to recommend this one because it is going around everywhere currently, but it is my current obsession, and I'm going to recommend Heated Rivalry. If you don't know what this is an MM romance, and it follows NHL stars Shane Hollander and Ilya Rozanov, and it follows their decade-long relationship, and it's kind of like, to the world, they are known as like enemies, so they can't be together type thing. I don't need to explain that anymore because, like I said, it is an obsession going around currently. Everyone's watching or reading Heated Rivalry. I mean, literally the shirt I'm wearing right now is Heated Rivalry, so I just feel like I don't need to talk about that too much. But the books are so good. Not only the show, but the books itself are so good, and you get a lot more detail in the long game, which is the second book as well, which I would highly recommend also. But that is the end of today's video. Thank you all so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and leave this emoji if you're watching to the end, and I hope to see you on my next one. Bye.